Is the SEC actually going to do a last-minute 180 on their Ethereum ETF decision, which is due tomorrow? At least that's what it currently looks like, especially following the comments from Donald Trump from last week, where he literally said that he would embrace crypto. This put the current administration under pressure, and they seem to be doing now a 180 shift on their strategy on crypto as well, which is now actually interesting to see that crypto is on a global stage. It's living in all of their heads and they can't ignore it anymore. They can't ignore it. We're past that stage. Crypto is on the global stage and they are forced to embrace it. And against all odds, this now puts a lot of pressure on the SEC to take a sound decision, because if not, they could lose a lot of votes. They could lose a lot of votes, the current administration, Democrats, which is probably why they better approve it now and actually go into this battle with Donald Trump, with the Republicans, to not lose votes. Because if they were to continue the current strategy of cracking down on crypto, this would definitely cost them a lot of votes. But let's actually do this one by one and look into what actually happened. ETH leads the altcoin rally. As I talked to you over the past couple of weeks, I was actually very interested in tracking the sentiment around this Ethereum spot ETF application or decision by the SEC, which is due tomorrow. And while a lot of you guys in the comments always said, "Yo, Sito, why are you talking about this? This is never ever going to get approved. This is pointless to even talk about it because they're not going to approve it." Now, suddenly, literally overnight, we see a huge sentiment shift. And this is also shown now on Polymarket. We literally were at 7 cents here on the dollar. We're literally at 7 cents, just a couple, even at 6 cents, just a few days ago, about the chances for the Ethereum ETF to be approved. Now we are at 63%, which is a huge sentiment shift from the crypto community. And we're not only seeing it from the crypto community, but we're actually seeing it also from Bloomberg analyst Eric Balchunas, who has been also very active during the Bitcoin spot ETF approval, and has been giving and sharing inside information as much as he could publicly on Twitter. And he came out, and this basically also pumped the entire market. He came out alongside his colleague, I guess, James Seyfarth, saying that they're increasing their odds of a spot Ether ETF approval to 75%, up from 25%. Hearing chatter this afternoon that the SEC could be doing a 180 on this increasingly political issue. So now everyone's scrambling, like us, everyone else assumed they'd be denied. See Nate's tweet below for probably order of events. But again, we're capping at 75% until we see more EG filing updates. And in fact, shortly after that, we did see updates. The SEC asked exchanges to update 19B4 filings, whatever that means, on accelerated basis for spot Ethereum ETFs. Now, if you're deep into that topic, you probably know what this is all about, but it looks like, and that's also what the market has been immediately reacting to, and these tweets have also gone viral, by the way, especially Eric's tweet, 4.4 million impressions, is that the market has immediately priced it in, and it apparently indicates that the SEC is actually going to approve this thing tomorrow. And this would be massive. We have already seen a reaction here, 19% up Ethereum on the day. Volumes are through the roof. Shorts got liquidated left and right. And altcoins, obviously, the entire altcoin market has been pumping, right? Especially now the Ethereum ecosystem, obviously. So we see Lido actually the top gainer, up 33%. We see Uniswap 19.5, and so on and so forth. So Arbitrum, a lot of the L2s, a lot of the DeFi blue chips, also Aave you see here, are pumping. So this is now probably a revival and a ignition for the Ethereum ecosystem to wake up and pump massively, which we're currently seeing. And that will definitely then spill over into all other altcoins, into different verticals, into different ecosystems. Here on this channel, we're obviously covering mostly the Cosmos ecosystem. And I think that we will also, we're actually primed for a Cosmos season that's imminent. We're primed for a Cosmos summer. And I'm also going to show you at the end of the video that why I think that, because there's currently 2 big proposals that are live that could actually have a big impact, as well as multiple launches that are imminent, multiple token launches. We will also, by the way, talk about this today, generally about token launches. But yeah, that's currently where I see the market is going. But yes, this is very bullish news. And yes, this is also very surprising. Like I said, the odds have been extremely low, but now it seems like the market is going to turn this around, and the crypto movement is unstoppable. Anyways, this chart is probably one of the most important charts for this year, because this is the total 3 chart, the chart excluding BTC and ETH. And I think considering that those two, at least Bitcoin, but most likely also now Ethereum, will have ETF, which means huge inflows for liquidity, right? We talked about it so much in 2022, even 2023. There needs to be an event for liquidity to re-enter the market. The liquidity gates need to be reopened, and that's actually what we're seeing with these ETFs, which then also drives a lot of credibility and legitimacy to the crypto markets and restores a lot of faith into crypto that was lost in 2022 and 23 after all that BS we went through with all these collapses, all these people that are now in jail, all these Ponzi's and all these scams. We're now washed out, and the liquidity gates are opening again. So this is great to see. Markets pumping, altcoins are up, and this is literally the life of the average crypto bro. It's over, we're back, it's over, we're back. A constant roller coaster of emotions. I also said in the last video, crypto is 95% suffering and pain and only 5% glory. But you can literally see also, like I said in the video, I think from a week or 2 weeks ago, that within the blink of an eye, this whole market can change and turn around. And you don't really want to miss out. You don't want to sell on the way down. You actually want to sell when the market sentiment is at the peak, when there's greed and FOMO in the market and nothing else, but we're still far away from that. And this is yet again another massive reminder why you should just hodl and do the least possible. Find your high conviction plays, place some bets in your coins that you're mostly following, that you're mostly up to date, that you're mostly convinced of, and don't do any weird stuff on the side or trade or anything like that, because you don't want to miss out on these massive pumps that immediately rise the tide literally overnight. Just on a side note, we also saw $240 million going into the Bitcoin spot ETF yesterday. Also Grayscale now, another green day, $9 million in inflows. BlackRock about to flip. Grayscale though, only less than $1 billion now in gap between the two. And you can see how the ETF flows have been very, very green over the past week. And now all eyes are on the Ethereum spot ETF. In the meantime, we also saw the listing of both the Bitcoin and the Ethereum spot ETFs in Hong Kong. And this is also doing relatively well. 3,700 BTC and 13,000 ETH are in those ETFs in Hong Kong. Now, looking more specifically into the Cosmos ecosystem and the interchain, we see Fetch AI, the largest L1 that's built on the interchain stack, up 12% today, has a $6.4 billion market cap, $2.54. Atom, $8.84, up 6% today. Not a huge pump, but at least 6%. That's at least something. Injective, 12%. After they announced the launch of an Ethereum L3. Then we have Celestia, 9% up, reclaiming $10 here, at least on the way. Sei Network, which we have some news that I'm going to share later as well, 10%, $0.58 now. Akash Network, scratching at the $6 mark. DYDX, and so on and so forth. A lot of green here. If we actually look into the top gainers, we see Sentinel, Privacy and Deepin play, up 28% today. Passage 24%, back at 3 cents, but still extremely low. Humans AI, also an AI project, 18%. Also Saga up 13-14%. But yeah, overall, a lot of coins are bouncing double digits green here, so that's great to see. We don't really have any losers, only Keychain and Desmos, but those are also not really actively managed and maintained projects and chains. So I'm not sure. It would be nice to have a filter actually, where you could filter also by minimum volume. I mean, those coins have extremely low volume, extremely low liquidity, thin liquidity. So it would be nice to kind of filter those low volume coins out. Then I want to drive your visibility on this post from Cobie, new launches, which is basically about new coins that are launching and being rolled out, where they initially have liquidity, how they're onboarding investors, what deals they're getting in, and all these kind of things, especially also in light of the low float, high FTV discussions that were happening on Twitter and other platforms. But yeah, basically this post, I really highly encourage you to read it. Really sums it up a lot from also where we come from in the past, right? Rewinding the ICOs, because I also saw some people calling that we need ICOs back. But if you think back, if you were around at that time, you know that ICOs actually escalated, but to the worst, to the really bad times. And I think if you If you haven't been around, but you want to kind of get a feeling of what the vibe was back then, there is an excellent Netflix series. I think it's called Bitcoin that you can watch, where one of the project founders from back in the day explained how easy it was to basically scam people out of 8 figures easily, and the whole crypto community. So yeah, there was a lot of bad at that time. There was also something good, of course, but there was a lot of bad, and this really escalated into really bad things. And it's also illegal, by the way, at least in most jurisdictions. Cobie also then shared this table here about some of the more recent token launches in the Ethereum ecosystem, but also Solana here, and kind of the initial valuations versus then when it hit the market, right? And basically what private investors got in and where the public investors, aka retail community, got in, and also what the float was, basically what was the amount of coins that were on the market in the very beginning when it got publicly listed. And it's interesting to see that Sol only had 2% of float at the cheapest price, which indicates a huge gap between the circulating supply of coins versus the vested supply, or supply that's kind of in private hands and not publicly accessible on the open market. OP also 6%, Stark 7.5%. Stark, I think, actually went to a $20 billion valuation when they came out initially. And this is just here for visibility. And also, I think it's not really anything new, like this whole, private investors and launching tokens at relatively low float. We've seen this over and over the years. Obviously, the crypto tide is getting much higher, which also Cobie explains here in this post. So something that happened to ETH, I'm not sure if this could be replicated because was just a different time, right? Even for Bitcoin, Bitcoin had actually one of the fairest launches, even though there were also the accessibility for mining devices and knowledge at that time was also very concentrated. So it was more like an arbitrage game of information versus now it's more of an arbitrage game of the network that you have, right? And I think in this post, like I said, this is super insightful. It's also showing great charts where the public market trading began versus the valuation development. Sol here looks relatively nice. OP already got in at a much higher tide, and then Stark, for example, was really pretty much at the peak. So my conclusion about this can actually not be captured in one quick segment here in this video. This goes a lot deeper. There's a lot more nuance to it, a lot more variables, right? Actually, a lot of this is covered here, but this is also a 3-parter, so this is only part 1 of Cobie's thoughts. There's also a lot of nuance around private investing and venture capitalists and all these kind of things, because people only kind of complain about that at a success story, right? But the truth is also that 90%, 95% of the private investments that these VCs are doing are actually not really performing at all, and are actually, in some cases, even a total loss. So yes, in extreme success stories, even like the one that we saw with Eigenlayer or Starkware, there's also in Cosmos, we have some like Celestia. You really think this is super unfair and it shouldn't be like that. There needs to be a change. But what's not really talked about is also that in 90% of the cases, there's actually a total loss, and projects rack, the founders rack, there's some beef, they never launched the coin, it's delayed for many years, and then you're sitting on an investment for 3, 4, 5 years and nothing is actually happening. So this is also the case, and the truth at the same time. Yes, there is also a lot of insider investment going on, right? And I personally am also in a position now where I get pitched a lot. I get pitched a lot literally on a daily basis. And I get pitched in a way where people are not even trying to introduce me the project, but they're actually trying to just provide me a list of people that have invested, and then basically ask me to also invest, just so that they could go out and say, hey, CryptoCedars also invested. And that basically they're taking this as a sales argument to get more investors, right? And to just have more hype around the coin, around the token, while actually not really sharing much about their roadmap, their team, their experience, their goals, their objectives, and all these kind of fundamental things, right? I'm actually skipping and ignoring or not even responding or rejecting 95% of the investments that I'm being offered for that reason, right? And I think it's also a very, interesting gray area that crypto has when it comes to token launches. And it's still happening all the time, in which a lot of these VCs, investors, are actually aggressively going out there to just launch a coin rapidly without actually caring about the underlying product. And I also think this is what I talk about a lot here on the channel, that eventually a coin can launch and can have hype, and also has its initial kind of honeymoon phase where everything is perfect, everything is amazing, everything is chill. But then reality kicks in, and reality is product market fit. Are these projects actually able to, generate protocol revenue, have actual users, have an actual engaged community? This really shows after 3, 4, 5 years, which is also why when people tell me Atom is cooked, Osmo is cooked, all these legacy Cosmos coins, right? Some of them actually have survived a full redistribution of their token, which is something that newer coins still have ahead of them. And redistributing the coin supply basically also means that there is potential friction between the core team, the core VCs, the core backers, the core contributing entities from the early days. And that's why I think, yes, there are a lot of new shiny coins. We're all excited about them. They're launching sometimes with nice airdrops. And this is also healthy for the kind of development of the market. But at the same time, I rather want to see a full redistribution of that coin and actual product market fit, because only after that happens, we can really see what the market is valuing that project at. But yeah, this is just some quick thoughts. Obviously, this goes much deeper. There's a lot more to it. But overall, I pretty much agree with most of what Cobie is actually writing here in his post. But also, I think there should be more solutions being provided. And I talked a lot about StreamSwap, which in my view is the best platform to launch a coin, the best platform to launch a token. We talked about it a long time ago, and this is an unused feature in Cosmos and in all crypto. We need a lot more adoption from StreamSwap amongst also larger coins that are launching. So I'm really vouching for that, and I hope that StreamSwap actually becomes the best place to launch a coin and the place of choice for many of these coins. Anyways, like I promised, we have two massive proposals. Number one, actually from Sei Network, which is a full-on Cosmos chain that I hope most of you actually are aware of. And Sei Network now has proposal 55 on-chain, which is a software upgrade proposal to bring Sei V2 to life. This is going to bring parallel EVM execution on the Sei Network mainnet, and this is going to be a massive step for the Sei Network itself, but also for kind of its positioning in the broader crypto ecosystem. And also ahead of the Monad mainnet launch, which is still months away, I think Sei Network has now a very good shot to front run and capture most of that market. So go and cast your vote if you're a Sei staker. We're also, by the way, running a validator with Stake C2, and we're also going to vote on this proposal. And once it is approved, then we are entering phase 2, which is the V2 alpha stability and infrastructure deployment. And then we are entering phase 3, which is when the V2 beta is actually going live. Then we also have another massive proposal from the Cosmos Hub on Atom, also another major software upgrade, which is going to bring partial set security, the next iteration of shared security on the Cosmos Hub in the broader interchain security family. And this feature is going to scale shared security and onboard the next wave of consumer chains on the Cosmos Hub. We have Lorenzo protocol, a Bitcoin liquid staking provider. We also have Alias Network, a perpstacks, Ether, which is an EVM hub, and also we have Landslide, which is an AVAX interoperability hub to connect Avalanche and Cosmos. So this feature is also highly anticipated, and if this proposal goes through, then we'll have this feature live on mainnet in 10 days from now, and then we can start onboarding consumer chains in the first week of June. Now I want to leave you with a call to action, which is for you to actually watch this video from Winnie from Stakecito. And in this video, she's actually going to give you a full walkthrough of the Initia incentivized testnet, in terms of how to set up your wallet, how to get faucet tokens, how to swap, how to stake, participate in governance, and so on and so forth. So watch this video, it's only 9 minutes long, and then after that you will be able to navigate through the Initia Testnet, which is also one of the most highly anticipated launches. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And hopefully tomorrow we have something huge to celebrate, which is the approval of the Ethereum spot ETF by the SEC. Until then, stay safe, guys. Be good, and see you tomorrow.